So recently I learned about a conspiracy or a theory talking about how clowns basically derive from demons. And it's pretty interesting. They're basically like modeling, like a model of the Nephilim. And it's pretty strange. And I have a friend here with me to talk about it with. And we're going to get to the bottom of this. What do you think about it?
Well, yeah, I think it's pretty weird. I think it might have something to do with the ancient Pueblo Indians. I kind of think they might be connected to Freemasonry in some way. But basically that guy on YouTube, Understanding Conspiracy, talks about how Freemasonry uses the black and white tiles. And lately I've been seeing black and white tiles everywhere, and just like movies and music videos.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the programming is definitely a real thing, you know. They put all kind of stuff like that in movies and TV shows, you know. And one thing that guy was saying on his channel is that like the clowns kind of like look like reptilian in a way. They have like reptilian features almost, you know. And it's interesting that like the reptilian elite, it's like such a, you know, it's something that's like kind of talked about amongst conspiracy theorists, but they don't, you know, not everybody actually believes in it and stuff. Obviously, like, people think it might be like a ridiculous idea and stuff, but maybe there's something, some kind of truth to it in some way, you know, that like there's some reptilian theme going on throughout history, though, you know, like with the bad side, you know, with the, you know, the dark side, I guess you could say. And so it's pretty interesting that clowns kind of have a reptilian look to them, and you know, the Nephilim apparently might have looked like reptilian in a sense, you know, but they all had like a really large grin, you know, like reptiles have like a large grin, and clowns have like a large smile, you know, like, you know, the Joker smile, obviously, like, and things like that, you know. It's pretty strange. Also, you know, clowns have like a white face, you know, like their face is always painted white. And apparently the fallen angels might have been like white skinned, you know, because in the book of Enoch, I think it is like when Noah was born, Noah's father Lamech was like scared of him almost, because like he was really intelligent right off the bat, and he also, like, he said he looked like the sons of God or something, but I think it describes him as having like white skin, you know. And so like basically the fallen angels, the sons of God, which is what they were referred to as, could have possibly had white skin, and they were the fathers of the Nephilim, who clowns are apparently based off of. And so if clowns, you know, like actually are based off the Nephilim, that maybe would explain why they have a white face, and the large grin kind of implies reptilian features, you know.
Well, it's pretty weird. They also have a green, like, theme going on. It seems like you see in movies a lot, like The Mask and Little Shop of Horrors. Like, they'll use the term like mean and green, like the Hulk or something. And that in Little Shop of Horrors, another thing that's kind of weird about clowns is like they have the frill around their neck, and the plant in Little Shop of Horrors kind of has a frill around its neck. And there's even these babies of the like little baby plants, it has multiple heads. It has one big head and like these 7 baby heads surrounding it that kind of have like a white frill around their tongue. And I think, like, my theory is, I think the frill is kind of mocking like the lion's mane that's supposed to be Jesus, like sort of symbolizing the Antichrist, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. That makes a lot of sense to me, honestly. I mean, like I said, you know, the programming in movies is like intense, and like, you know, they always do things to like directly mock Bible, the Bible, and like and Jesus and stuff, and which is interesting. You know, like if he's not even a real character, you know, apparently is what a lot of people think. So I don't know. It's strange, but also he was saying that every culture has traditions of like dressing up as a clown too, like the shamans or whatever would always dress as a clown, and or during certain times of the year, maybe I think like on Halloween maybe they would dress kind of like a clown, and in some cases they say that it was to like fight off evil spirits. It was make them scared to go away from them. But in other cases, cultures actually admit to like doing it to deliberately invoke spirits to like bring them in. And so it's I don't think it's really able to work both ways, you know. I also think that like Halloween costumes are similar to that, especially because during Halloween it's like the veil's thinner already between the physical world and the spirit world, and so like when you dress as like a demon or something on Halloween, you're like inviting spirits, you know, you're like invoking spirits, you know, because whatever you're dressing as, you're kind of like making a channel from you to whatever in the spirit realm looks similar to you, you know. And so it's very interesting that on Halloween people dress up and stuff. Something else is that a lot of celebrities actually dress kind of like a clown in a way. Like they wear kind of makeup and stuff that looks clownish, and their clothing all of the time like kind of looks like what a clown would wear, and they kind of are the people who influence all the fashion trends and stuff. And so people like kids and stuff who are influenced by those artists are that they end up dressing similar to them, which makes them look like a clown in some way, you know, things that maybe clowns would wear to some extent. And again, opening up more of these channels because people are dressing in certain ways, so more channels are opening up through how people are dressing. And so I found that pretty interesting. But you know, it's also just strange that clowns have just always been thought of as like scary. They've always been associated with scary things. You know, like there's always horror movies and stuff that like the character's a clown, you know. And so it's pretty strange that like it's almost like really obvious that they're based off demons because of that, you know.
Well, I think, yeah, it's pretty weird how a lot of celebrities dress like clowns. And in that music video of The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance, it basically shows him wearing, or one of the band members wearing, these white and black striped sleeves on their arms. Look just like the Pueblo Indians. And also in that music video you see like a guy at the beginning dying in a hospital bed, and like there's a white room around him, and then it kind of like signifies that he dies, and the walls drop like a curtain. So like the hospital walls were actually just like a curtain, like a white curtain just falls to the ground, and behind it is this like parade of dead spirits basically. And so it kind of represents the veil. And there just seems to be a lot of connections to the veil. I think the black and white tiles are supposed to kind of symbolize the veil, and maybe even the frill around like the neck of a clown maybe represents the veil, because it looks just like the veil of a mushroom around the frill of a mushroom's neck. They call that the veil, and that looks exactly like the thing a clown would wear, or something around like a frilled dragon lizard. So that part's pretty trippy to me.
Also, like, mimes will wear black and white, and they are very similar to clowns. They have a lot of commonalities. Like, they both paint their face white, and mimes will use black and white paint usually, which symbolizes, the black and white checkers for Freemasonry and stuff, which is like the as above, so below concept, that they can do good, a little bit of good by being like a philanthropist or something, but like also in secret do really terrible things, and the little bit of good they do makes up for the terrible things. So they have that concept, and I think that's kind of what the black and white symbolizes. Maybe it has other meanings too, but that's one thing that I think it means. And also, like, clowns have been present at like carnivals and circuses. It's kind of like they're associated with those events. And like the word, like, apparently a circus is actually like basically a Freemason ritual. Like, they have a lot of parallels to Freemason rituals, so it's almost like a way for them to do a massive ritual in public and get away with it. And so it's basically more the people who are unaware of what the true meaning of the carnival is, or the circus. They're still giving their energy to that, to some extent, which is creating more energy for their agendas, basically, to bring their agendas into fruition. And clowns, if clowns are based off demons like the Nephilim, it would be, make sense for them to be at a public Freemason ritual, pretty much. And like the word itself, carnival and circus, like carnival is like carnal, like your carnal nature and stuff. So it's like the animal desires, which is also associated with, it's a kind of a bad way of living your life, pretty much, because you're just, it's the animalistic way, which is basically what Satan would teach. And like the circus could actually maybe have something to do with the word circuit, I think. That like we're in some kind of circuit, like this is like some kind of soul trap or something that was devised by Satan or something in some way, that so it's like when you enter a circus, you're entering the circuit. Or I don't know. It's all very fascinating and weird, but what do you think about all that?
I think it's pretty weird that every time that I've taken psychedelics, I've seen clown stuff, and I see circus tents a lot. And I noticed, like, when you're inside a cathedral or one of those places, the ceiling kind of looks like it's almost like a circus tent. And yeah, according to that guy on YouTube from Understanding Conspiracy, he thinks that the circus tent is kind of like the clown's house in the spiritual realm. That's kind of what the ceiling might look like if you could see to that realm. So that's pretty trippy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think a lot of the architecture around the world actually, this probably was built by the original Freemasons. Maybe from the same people who built the Tower of Babel, basically, Tower of Babel, whatever you want to call it. The same people who built that, and maybe Solomon's Temple, they're the ones who built the other structures that basically resemble Freemason buildings and stuff like. And so yeah, it's very strange. I think that it's definitely possible that like circuses and stuff, circus tents, are influenced by those same structures that were built by the Freemasons originally.